How's it going, guys? Randall aka Shizakats here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel to bring you guys a new deck profile for the Saekano series as of their latest release, Saekano Finale. Saekano finds itself in a unique position compared to when it was released in Japanese a couple years ago. First of all, Japanese Saekano had a restriction list implemented that limited some of the set's options. These restrictions do not exist in English, and as a result, we can run combinations of cards that were not legal to use in JP, and at the time of this recording are still not legal to use. Secondly, the meta has shifted a lot within these last 2 years. At the time of release in JP, it was widely agreed upon that the Goldbar Door deck that was popular in Saekano Flat was still the strongest deck archetype Saekano had to offer. However, since then we've seen the advent of powerful board-based strategies such as Muron Tensura and Kishibe Chainsaw Man that would make the Goldbar level 1 Megumi combo significantly harder to use effectively. Because of this meta shift, along with the fact that we didn't just want to profile an almost identical deck to the one from our previous Saekano deck profile, we have instead decided to go with an 8-door deck for this iteration. With that being said, let's hop in with the climax combos. At level 1, we have the new Megumi Door combo. Sitting at 4500 base power, she can go up to 5500 power cross turn if we have a full back row of game characters. Not the highest, but also not the lowest. Thankfully, her climax combo requires no interaction with the opponent's board. On attack, if you have 2 or more other game characters, we mill 2, add the levels of those milled cards, and salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the sum. Additionally, if the character we salvage is a level 3 or higher, we have the option to also bounce an opposing character. Alongside the level 1 Megumi combo, we also have a new support card to go alongside her. This level 0 Megumi is a clock bomb with a secondary effect that lets us salvage back the level 1 combo from our waiting room by paying 1 and sending herself standing to memory. This gives us extra opportunities to recur the level 1 combo back into our hand for repeated turns of combo, even if we do not manage to mill level 1 or higher on the combo itself, or if we simply don't have any copies of the combo in our waiting room to pick up. Also, she plays into our memory strategy that Saekano is so well known for. Unfortunately, this card cannot be rested for the all-night gaming event as she needs to be sent to memory while standing, but we have other cards in the deck list that can be abused alongside that event anyways. For our level 3, we're going with the good old Door combo from set 2. She gains stacking effects the more cards we have in memory, plus 2k power during your turn if you have 2 or more, anti-backup if you have 3 or more, and hexproof if you have 4 or more. With the way Saekano likes to liberally send cards to memory, fulfilling the requirement for all of the effects to be active is trivial. Additionally, Megumi heals on play, either from hand or via the effect of the 2-1 Megumi Assist, and has a very simple climax combo of on reverse, pay 1 to burn 2. With the anti-backup offered by Megumi's first effect, reversing the opposing characters to use this burn should be fairly easy. Alongside our level 3 Megumi, we have the return of the Change Chain package, also from set 2. The level 0 and 1 Megumis are both Search Brainstorms, while the level 2 Megumi is a level assist. All 3 of these can be easily abused with the all-night gaming event, which rests 2 characters as a condition to play it, and then also prevents those characters from standing during your next stand phase. By changing these Megumis away into the next version in the chain, you can completely bypass this downside. Use these Megumi's changing abilities liberally. You're not paying any extra stock than you would pay playing the higher level Megumis normally, so this is a great way to build memory while simultaneously giving you increased access to your late game options without needing to specifically add them to your hand through climax combos, brainstorms, or door triggers. Let's move on to the rest of the list, starting with the level 0 line. The level 0 Izumi is a powerful card that Japan hasn't been able to legally utilize alongside the level 3 Megumi since December 2020. She is both a mill runner and has an act ability of paying 1 stock and sending herself to memory to grab a game character from the top 4 cards of the deck. Compared to the set 2 incarnation of Saekano, which used the level 1 Goldbar Megumi combo, this deck doesn't have as much problem milling through the deck. So we decided to cut this card down to 3 copies from 4 in order to make room for some of the other inclusions in the deck. It's still a very powerful card that Saekano players are often very happy to see throughout the game, and it's also another card that we can abuse with the all-night gaming event since we can rest her and then immediately send her to memory with her act ability. Another powerful card returning from the set 2 list is the Airy Researcher. On play, she gives another game character plus 2000 power for the turn, a very helpful boost in a deck with otherwise very unimpressive power lines. When she gets reversed, you can pay 1 and send herself to memory to search your deck for any game character. This is a great card to use in the early game to set up your level 1 game plan, and is also just generally useful throughout the game to build additional memory and actively compress the current deck cycle while sprinkling 2k power buffs here and there. The final returning 0 is the Utaha on Reverse Salvage Riki from set 1. Where Eriri gives access to the deck, Utaha gives access to the waiting room at the cost of 1 stock and 1 damage. Since this card effectively replaces herself with her ability, you can field this card in the early game to play aggressively and supplement a level 0 tri-field, allowing you to rack up more early damage on your opponent. A card that is not returning from our set 2 list is the green Utaha level 0 from set 2. We decided to replace this card with some of the new level 0s from set 3. One of the most important being the new level 0 Megumi. When she's sent from stage to waiting room, you can discard a card to look at up to 3 cards on top of your deck, add a game character from among them to your hand, and send the rest to waiting room. Then, if you do not have a green character already in memory, she can send herself to memory. This Megumi's ability is very similar to a Chiiri effect, offering costless discard outlet, hand filtering, and deck speed all in one. However, compared to a normal Chiiri, she looks at 1 less card in exchange for sending herself to memory. Due to the card's green memory requirement, it conflicts a bit with the Utaha level 0, and we felt the deck had an adequate amount of card advantage already, and we instead chose to play this new Megumi for extra utility. Skipping ahead a few zeros, we have the new Utaha Drop Salvager. This card is very similar to the Miko Drop Search from the Gen 0 Hololive trial deck, being an oversized with the downside that the opponent's characters all get paid 2 Encore. We mainly use the card for its Drop Salvager ability, giving us main phase access to our waiting room that we don't normally have, but it can also serve as a good beat stick during the early game. The final level 0 in the lineup is the Eriri Climax Swap. Can you believe it took 3 sets for Saekano to finally get one of these? This Eriri is a much appreciated addition to the deck, letting us much more easily use our level 0 combo on back-to-back turns throughout the mid-game, as well as help us secure our level 3 finisher climax in the endgame. Her alarm effect lets us draw a card and discard a card at the start of our climax phase if she's on top of clock, which can be helpful in games where we already have the climaxes that we need and can clock this Eriri to try to improve our hand with 2 cards from the top of the deck. At level 1, alongside our level 1 combo, we have the Box Topper PR Megumi. This Megumi has 5500 power and cannot be played if we have 2 or fewer game characters on stage, meaning we need 3 or more already on stage to put her into play. Her ability nets you a blind stock when she reverses an opposing character as long as you have a climax in play. This extra stock is quite helpful in allowing the deck to utilize more of its memory abilities and lets you capitalize on matchups where your opponent's board isn't so huge that you can't grab reverses. We've mentioned it already previously in the profile, but we also see the return of the all-night gaming event. This powerful event requires resting 2 characters to play, and those characters do not stand during your next stand phase. As mentioned earlier, cards such as the Change Chain Megumis and Level 0 Izumi are fantastic candidates for this cost. It lets you search your deck for a character and add it to hand, and also lets you put a character from your waiting room into stock without even costing any stock to begin with. It then puts itself on the bottom of your deck as an additional downside. However, this can turn into an upside as it gives you knowledge of the bottom card of your deck for more informed decision making, or can be shuffled into the deck by a Brainstorm or Level 0 ADD search in order to draw and reuse it. At level 2, apart from our level assist Megumis, we also have a lone Utaha refresh counter. In a deck with 8 door climaxes, having access to a refresh counter is always nice, as we can grab it from the waiting room on command off of a door trigger, and then use it to get ourselves out of a pinch. Moving on to our level 3s. Apart from our level 3 finisher combo, the other level 3s we run are all early plays. The Megumi from set 1 makes a return, being a 2 or less climax early play healer. She also has the effect of buffing another character by up to 2000 power when she attacks, which can be useful with the level 3 finisher if you need to scale over some larger bodies. The other early play is the new Utaha. She is a 4 or more characters on stage early play, gains 1500 power and hand encore continuously to go up to a respectable 10,500 power line, and on play, you can pay 1 to salvage a climax from your waiting room. While not exactly the most efficient way to secure a climax, requiring 3 stock to use her effect alongside her on-play cost, she's your best option for guaranteeing you have your climax for the late game. Considering that you will usually want to have a 2-1 Megumi level assist on stage during your level 2 game anyway, Utaha's power will usually be at 12,000, strong enough to hold against most decks and get you some value by not having to be replaced by playing a new character when she gets sent to waiting room. Gameplay-wise, this build doesn't change too much compared to our Goldbar Door deck profile from Saekano Flat. Our main early game goal is to try to use our memory profiles such as the Eriri Searcher and Utaha Salvager to sculpt towards our level 1 game plan. Those two cards alongside our Izumi Runner are the top priority level 0s to hold on to during the mulligan. Once at level 1, use your Megumi level 1 combo to grab follow-up for future turns. Unlike the Goldbar Kato level 1 from set 2, which bounces itself back to the hand rather than grabbing new options, this Megumi lets you play much more flexibly. That being said, it's still good to simply loop the level 1 combo for multiple turns in a row to maintain card advantage and push consistent damage by playing climaxes. So I often just recommend grabbing more copies of the climax combo, or at the very least the level 0 Kato that can salvage it back. The Megumi Box Topper PR is an excellent complement to our climax combo, allowing us to gain further advantage in the form of stock alongside the hand advantage generated by the combo itself. However, it is the opposite color to the climax combo, so be careful about that when going to level 1. At level 2, we gain the ability to use our early plays as well as change the level 1 Megumi Brainstorms into the level assist Megumi. Typically, this should be done as early as possible, not only to support the power line of the early plays, but also to ensure we have additional ways to go into our Megumi finisher once we hit level 3. At level 3, all that's really left to do is use the Megumi finishers to both heal down, as well as go for the kill on the opponent. What's really nice about Saekano's late game is that it can easily get super compressed to the point that the opponent might not be able to easily kill you, so you will often want to plan around potential follow-up turns by preparing more Megumi finishers or ways to get the Megumi finisher back, such as with the level 2 changers. The Megumi finisher doesn't exactly provide the most finishing power, especially compared to some of the more modern level 3 endgames that some of the decks can play. So it is definitely a consideration to play for an additional turn or even 2 at level 3. For color priority, you should always be prioritizing red first for the level 1 combo and Brainstorm, followed by green for the supplementary level 1 pieces such as the Megumi PR and the All Night Gaming event. Let's briefly go over a couple alternative level 1 options before we finish up this profile. You could always go with the old level 1 Megumi Bounce Back combo from set 2, as it's still a very serviceable advantage combo provided you don't have problems with scaling opposing boards. In my opinion, the main advantage to playing this card is actually the Twin Drive, giving you the ability to pay key pieces out of stock such as your level 3 Megumi combo, on top of being able to pay out climaxes. However, it does also come with the inherent disadvantage of being much less flexible, as it pluses you in the form of, well, itself, bouncing back to hand, and not allowing you to go into other cards. In decks that run this level 1 combo, I would recommend not playing the 1-0 Megumi Box Topper promo, as these cards can run into trouble against decks that present larger boards. The Megumi combo already needs to effectively win lanes in order to gain value unless you side attack, and running it alongside a level 1 profile that actually needs to win its lane in order to gain value can be potentially problematic. Another potential level 1 combo to explore is the new level 1 Utaha Goldbar combo from set 3. This card is somewhat similar to the Himeno combo from Chainsaw Man. At the end of her attack, you can sack the climax to top check up to 4 and add up to 2 characters. This card is nice in that it can get you a +1 off just a single copy of the climax combo, rather than needing to get multiple copies of the climax combo to go plus like you would otherwise. However, there is a pretty big caveat with this effect though. Due to being a gold bar rather than a stock soul like in Chainsaw Man, sacrificing the climax will cause you to lose the power and soul benefits on any characters that have not yet attacked. So you will need to be careful about how you use this climax combo if you want to refresh optimally at the end of a deck rotation. Notably, this combo does not require winning any lanes in order to function, so similar to the Door level 1 combo we looked at in the main deck list, this combo is much more suited into metagames with high power boards. And that's going to conclude our deck profile for Saekano Finale. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Also, let us know if you have any suggestions for the deck that we didn't go over in the video. We don't exactly consider ourselves Saekano experts here on the Tressa's team, and would love to hear any input you guys have as well. Coming up next on the channel will be some gameplay featuring a bunch of different Saekano decks, including this one, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Until next time, this has been Randall, aka Shizukats, on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. See ya!